Christians often think that the gospel that's mentioned inside of the Quran is the Bible that we have today.
Yes, and that's what your prophet taught. He taught that the Jews and the Christians possessed the scriptures. One hadith even has Muhammad saying to the Torah that the Jews possessed, "I believe in you and the one who revealed you." In Surah 1094, Muhammad is commanded that if he is in doubt about the revelations he has received, then to ask those who read the scriptures before him, clearly telling us that the Jews and the Christians at the time of Muhammad possessed the Torah and the Gospel, which Allah claims to have revealed in Surah 3. So we have every reason to think that when the Quran refers to the Gospel, it's referring to the Christian scriptures that Christians possessed at the time of Muhammad, and those are the same scriptures that we have today.
But I'm sorry to say, that's not true.
Oh, this ought to be good.
The Quran said that Allah gave the gospel to Jesus directly. But when you open up the Bible, it's according to Mark, according to Matthew, according to Luke, and according to John. And these books were written decades after Jesus.
Congratulations! You found the error in the Quran. Muhammad, and Allah by extension, incorrectly thought that our Gospels, or maybe the whole New Testament, was a book that Allah directly gave to Jesus. Now, of course, when we look at history, we see there's absolutely no evidence whatsoever Jesus had a book given to him from God that confirms the teachings of Muhammad. And if Muslim apologists are right, and this is what the Quran is referring to, then we need to ask, why is Allah telling Christians to judge by a non-existent book that we have never possessed? Whereas in the Life of Muhammad by Ibn Ishaq, he talks about things that Jesus handed down, and he says it is extracted from what John the Apostle set down for them when he wrote the gospel for them from the testament of Jesus, son of Mary. In other words, Ibn Ishaq said that the gospel of Jesus is in the gospel according to John, which we now possess. And when we go through the Quran and Sunnah, Allah and Muhammad constantly assume that the scriptures we possess are the Torah and the gospel that Allah claims to have sent down. For example, Allah says the Quran is a zikr, a reminder, and he promises to protect the zikr. But he also says the zikr existed before Muhammad, given to Moses, predating the Psalms, and possessed by the Jews and Christians. Muhammad himself is commanded to verify his message by consulting the people of the zikr, which doesn't make sense if the zikr was corrupted. Therefore, at Muhammad's time, the Torah and the Gospel are also zikrs, and must have been divinely preserved and are reliable scriptures. So you can't get out of the Islamic dilemma by claiming the Injil in the Quran is something other than the scriptures that we Christians have.